Good morning, class. How did you sleep last night? I slept like a bear. Hey, does that sound familiar? Well, yesterday we read the story, How Do Bears Sleep? We sat back and just enjoyed it. Today we're going to be looking at the story more in depth and trying to make connections about you and the bear, and we're going to ask questions about the story too. So, if you have a question, just raise your hand and we'll write it on the post-it note and stick it in the story. So everyone come sit down on your magic carpet square. Some of you are already there. And remember the 3 listening L's. Look forward, lips closed, lay your hands in your lap. Okay, remember to sit crisscross applesauce and raise your hand if you have anything to add. Let's get started. How do bears sleep? The north wind is stirring and dry leaves are shifting. Soon you'll see snow, a-blowing and drifting. This is the time when winter comes creeping. And this is the time when a bear thinks of sleeping. Hey, that reminds me of something. In the winter, I like to sleep too. So I'm going to write this down on my post-it note. I like to sleep in the winter. See how I did that? I wrote down my thought and I'm going to stick it in the story. Okay. Needing a cave, he'll search high and low, till finally he finds one to keep out of the snow. Now I've asked all my friends, but nobody knows just how a bear sleeps when the winter wind blows. Hey, I think we can ask a question about this. Can we ask, how does a bear sleep in the winter? And we can look back on it later and try to answer. How do bears sleep in the winter? All right, stick it in my story. Does he make up a bed of dry leaves and stones, or lie on the ground, just resting his bones? Does he sleep on his belly, or flat on his back? With his mouth open wide, or just open to crack? Pat your tummy if you sleep on your tummy, or pat your back if you sleep on your back. Ooh, Emily sleeps on her back. Let's write that down. Emily sleeps on her back. That looks like how the bear's sleeping in this picture. Does he twist? Does he turn? Does he snarl and get grumpy? Does he tear up his bed when it starts feeling lumpy? Does he lie very still without any twitching? Or lift up a paw to scratch where it's itching? Is part of his time spent arranging the boulders? Does he keep the sharp edges from scuffing his shoulders? Does he stare eyes wide open without ever blinking? Or shut his eyes tight to help while he's thinking? Does he squint in the dark, lying still on his bed? Does he rub his brown eyes till his eyes are red? Raise your hand if you ever have a hard time sleeping. Emily, what do you do when you can't sleep?
I listen to some music.
Oh, Emily listens to music to help her fall asleep. Let's write that down. Emily listens to music to help her fall asleep. Thanks, Emily. Okay. Does he curl in a ball? Does he whimper or snore? Does he have scary dreams and wake up with a roar? Or maybe he dreams of grubs under logs, or cool summer evenings and the croaking of frogs. Wiggle your fingers if you ever have scary dreams. Yeah, me too. I usually go to my mom when I have scary dreams. So, I have scary dreams too. Maybe it's strawberries, all squashy and dripping, with juices so runny they're just made for sipping. Or high mountain meadows with a clean south wind blowing, the clouds white like lace, and wildflowers growing. Or a soft summer night, crickets sawing a tune, and whisper of wind and a slice of a moon. Does he dream of sweet cherries and old honey trees, combs dripping with honey and no honeybees? Now here are some problems. It doesn't seem right. How does he sleep when it's not even night? How can he miss Christmas or New Year's horns blaring? How can he lie there without even caring? Is it ever hard for you to fall asleep, Emily, when it's loud outside?
It is.
Yeah, what do you do? Do you just roll over and pretend it's not happening?
Sometimes I just close my eyes really tight.
Yep, I bet that's what the bear does too. Emily closes her eyes when it's loud. How does he sleep? Through a wild howling blizzard, or a cold driving wind that freezes his gizzard? A bleary-eyed bear, all droopy and dozy, in a snow-drifted cave, can his fur keep him cozy? Gizzard. That's a funny word. Let's write that down to look up tomorrow. Gizzard. Try to imagine, or even to think, from November to April without even a drink. If I live to be 90, I'm sure I won't know how a bear sleeps through the cold winter snow. 'Cause I'm sure it would be a horrendous mistake to go poking around and find him awake. What a good story. Thanks for being such good listeners, friends. Tomorrow, we're going to go through the book again. We're going to keep the post-it notes in so we can look through and remember the connections we made and the questions we asked. And we're going to go through and find those answers.